Imagine waking up every morning, opening your eyes, and stepping into the world that feels so real, so tangible. You hear the sounds, see the colors, touch the objects around you. But what if everything you think you know about reality is a lie? What if the world you experience isn't out there, but right inside your head? What if your brain is not just perceiving the world, but creating it? This idea is far from fiction. It's not some abstract philosophical debate. It's a scientific theory, one that challenges everything we've been told about our perception of reality. Carl Pribram's holographic brain theory suggests something mind-bending. According to this theory, your brain is not simply a passive observer of the world around you. It's not just taking in sensory information and responding to it. Instead, your brain is the architect of your reality, crafting a detailed, dynamic 3D experience from sensory data. But here's the twist. This creation is not the full, unaltered truth. It's not a perfect representation of the world. It's a reconstruction, a simulation. This means that every experience you have, every object you see, every sound you hear, and every sensation you feel is a product of your brain's interpretation, a projection, if you will. But what if this projection is more distorted than we ever realized? Think about optical illusions. These visual tricks deceive your eyes into seeing something that isn't really there. For example, when you look at an image that tricks your brain into seeing something that isn't true, it's not the image itself that's lying to you. It's your brain. Your brain takes ambiguous or incomplete information and fills in the gaps with what it expects to see. This isn't a flaw of perception. This is how your brain works. It's constantly constructing, predicting, and making sense of the world in real time. It encodes the world in a way that mirrors a hologram. The interesting part is that information is distributed throughout the brain, meaning that every fragment of information can carry the whole. This concept, where pieces of information can represent the entirety of an experience, is the hallmark of holographic structures. Now, let's take this a step further. Consider phantom limb syndrome. When an amputee feels sensations in a limb that no longer exists, the sensation isn't happening in their body. It's happening in their brain. The brain is generating a reality where that limb still resides, despite its physical absence. This experience challenges everything we know about the mind-body connection. It tells us that our perception of reality, even our sense of physical existence, is not rooted in the external world, but in the brain's processing of it. The mind is actively creating the sensation of something that isn't even there. Dreams operate in a similar way. We've all had dreams that felt completely real, dreams so vivid and immersive that they seemed more like real life than the world we wake up to. And when you wake up, the details of the dream seem to disappear. But for those moments, it felt entirely real. None of the things we dream about actually exist outside of our heads. Yet, within our minds, they appear as real as the physical world. We've all experienced this. It's proof that reality, at least in part, is a mental construct. The lines between what's real and what's imagined blur when we look at our dreams. Your mind doesn't just passively receive sensory information during sleep. It actively creates and generates entire worlds, experiences, and sensations. This phenomenon isn't just a quirky side effect of sleep. It's evidence of how our minds create our reality all the time. We don't just observe the world. We actively participate in creating it. But the bigger question remains: how much of what we perceive as reality is actually real? How much of it is shaped by our brain's predictions, assumptions, memories, and expectations? How often are we experiencing a world that is far more subjective than we realize? What if the universe itself operates on similar principles? If your brain operates holographically, then it's not just creating your sense of space and time. It's participating in a process that mirrors the very structure of the universe itself. And this is where things start to get even more fascinating. Physicists have long been fascinated by the idea that the universe itself could also operate holographically. This is not science fiction. This idea, known as the holographic principle, suggests that all the information about our three-dimensional reality, everything we see, touch, and experience, could be encoded on a two-dimensional surface, like a cosmic hard drive. This means that everything we experience might just be a projection, like a 3D movie, where the images on the screen appear to have depth, but they're just projections from a flat surface. The idea started gaining traction when physicists studying black holes noticed something curious. Black holes, these immense objects with gravity so strong that not even light can escape, have an event horizon, a boundary where not even information can get past. But the information about everything that falls into a black hole doesn't just vanish. It's encoded on the surface of the black hole's event horizon, as if the information about everything inside the black hole is stored on the surface, not in the volume inside it. This led to the idea that the entire universe could operate in a similar way, that everything we experience might be encoded on a distant, two-dimensional boundary, with our perception of the three-dimensional world being a projection of that information. In a sense, we could be living inside a cosmic hologram, a projection of information encoded somewhere else in the universe. And this raises even deeper questions. If the universe itself is a hologram, then who or what is creating the projection? What is pulling the strings? Is there a higher consciousness, a deeper intelligence that is shaping the holographic experience we call reality? Or is it just the mindless functioning of the universe, operating according to physical laws we don't yet fully understand? Now, let's bring this back to you, the observer of this cosmic puzzle. If your brain is indeed creating your perception of reality, and if the universe itself could be a hologram, then what does that mean for you as an individual? Are you just a passive observer of the world around you? Or are you actively participating in this holographic reality, contributing to the creation of your own experience? And if you are, what role do you play in this cosmic simulation? Could it be that you are far more powerful than you've been led to believe? You see, these questions have profound implications. If our perceptions are a result of our brains creating a reality, if the universe itself is a holographic projection, then how can we trust anything we think we know? What is real? What is truly objective? The more we explore these questions, the more we realize that reality is not as fixed and unchanging as we once believed. Instead, reality might be fluid, constantly shifting and changing based on our perceptions, assumptions, and beliefs. In a way, we are all creators of our own reality, shaping our experiences through the lens of our minds. The holographic nature of the universe invites us to reconsider everything we think we know about existence. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question the nature of reality, and to explore the possibility that the world we experience is just a projection, a beautifully intricate, mind-bending. So the next time you look out at the world, ask yourself, is this reality, or is it just a hologram your mind has created? And more importantly, what part do you play in it? The answers may be more profound and more liberating than you could ever imagine.